Guys, what's the crack? So Blackrock, we said it was coming. They just bought, possibly, 3 billion worth in Bitcoin. Well, let's be accurate. Somebody in this recent crash, one wallet, over the last 3 months, has now become one of the largest Bitcoin holders out of nowhere on the planet. And so speculation is that it's good old Larry Fink from Blackrock. Now remember, once this ETF gets approved, that will open the floodgates and you will never be able to buy Bitcoin at these prices ever again in your life. And it'll be like back in the days where you could buy Bitcoin under 1,000 and people just wish now, oh, imagine being able to buy Bitcoin under 1,000 quid. What a gift that was. How easy for those people. But the irony is that people have the opportunity right now today and they're going to wait. They're going to wait to see does it go lower or they don't think it's possible and all this other stuff. So, the Bitcoin spot ETF, I'm just going to talk to you about a couple of things that are coming up in Bitcoin that takes it to the stratosphere. Now, this doesn't happen today or tomorrow. The one thing we've got to understand, guys, is when it comes to getting wealthy, especially investing, it's not easy. And sometimes we can just think, oh, I wish I bought Bitcoin early. But hindsight's 2020, okay? The irony is, you have the exact same opportunity today that in 10 years' time, people will wish that they bought Bitcoin at these prices. That isn't guaranteed, though. That's why it's difficult for you to do it, because there's no guarantee, okay? But it just looks highly likely, if you study the fundamentals, that Bitcoin's undervalued. It's going to continue to increase in value over this decade and all the decades coming after that, okay? And the reasons why, we'll just talk a little bit about the fundamentals. If that sounds good, do your daily exercise. All we ask is you stretch the finger. It doesn't have to be the index finger, but that's a good one. And tap the screen and then hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to the community. And as always, throw a comment in or share the content if you think someone would benefit from it. So in interesting news, and this hasn't been priced in and nobody's talking about this and it got no news, but banks were allowed to hold 1% of their assets in Bitcoin, and they lobbied to the regulators and they begged and kicked up a fuss and they're like, we need more. And now they've increased their allocation 100%. Banks are now legally allowed to own up to 2% of their assets in Bitcoin. Okay, and this is how the journey goes into Bitcoin. First you start off, you dip a toe in, you know, you've got 0.1% allocation, then you've got 1%, then you've got 2%, then you've got 4, 8, 16, 32, etc. until it consumes a lot of your net worth. Because why would you hold your net worth in all the inferior assets? Nothing performs as well as Bitcoin over a 4-year cycle. Nothing on the planet has historically kept up with Bitcoin over a 4-year cycle. And that's where we can go wrong, by investing in Bitcoin for a year or a week or a month. It's a 4-year cycle, baby, and I've explained numerous times why that's the case, so we won't go into that here and now. Just a little disclaimer, I suppose, because we live in the claim culture. So nothing that you hear is financial advice. If you buy Bitcoin and it goes down, it's your fault. You done it, okay? So just be aware of that. If you want to be successful in life, it starts to take responsibility. So nothing you hear is financial advice. This is just education and a bit of entertainment. So banks allowed to custody Bitcoin. Didn't move the Bitcoin price. Not at all. The Bitcoin crashed during that news. And this is the irony. So that when we're in a bear market, so when you're in a bear, how do you know you're in a bear market is when good news doesn't really move the price. Okay? What you've got to be prepared for those, when we go into a bull market, guys, all that good news that wasn't priced in now has to be caught up. The fundamentals have to catch up with the price. And that's why it rips your face off. If you were here for the 2020 bull market and it was like every time you refreshed your app, your portfolio was just going up in value, up in value, up in value for weeks and for months. And that's because of all the good news that happened 2017, 2018, 2019 and early 2020 wasn't priced in, and it all had to get priced in the bull market. Other interesting news, ESG has been an attack vector for Bitcoin. Okay, now ESG, if you actually do some study on it, it's a scam. It's just nonsense to mislead people and basically extract more tax out of them. Okay, and even BlackRock have now admitted that, even though they've used it, they've used it so much over the last few years to their, of course, commercial advantage, and now they've said, no, we're moving away, we're not using the term ESG, it's gone too politicized. And that was always the case for anyone who looked into it. But this was a large attack on Bitcoin, that Bitcoin was not environmentally friendly. And it's kind of ironic that when BlackRock decide we're launching our Bitcoin ETF, Bitcoin's digital gold. The CEO said, so that's 100% getting behind Bitcoin. He even called Bitcoin hope, okay? And then at the same time they go, by the way, ESG is nonsense, so we're not going to talk about that anymore. Obviously because they want to pivot into into Bitcoin. So that's kind of interesting news, because that's been a big attack vector on Bitcoin for numerous years. Anyone who understands Bitcoin, you realize that Bitcoin is essential to build out renewable energy. Essential, okay? And when it comes to using energy, like, who's to say how anyone can use energy? I'm not going to tell you shouldn't be watching reality TV, because that's a waste of energy. You know, you use your energy how you want to use it. If you're prepared to pay for the energy, you've got the right to use your energy. And this is how Bitcoin works. If people are prepared to pay for the energy, well, they can use the energy how they wish. Okay? But aside from that, renewables can't be built out without something like Bitcoin to allow the overbuilding of the grid, and to allow an actual something that needs power that can be turned off at a click of a switch. Nothing else works like that, only Bitcoin mining. And that's why it allows renewables to scale. And that's why, who was it done that report on it? Was it Fidelity? No, it was KPMG done a report recently. And it's like, Bitcoin is essential to allow the build out of green energy. Again, counter to the narrative. Everything is counter to the narrative, okay? Investing means that you're buying when others are fearful, you're buying when all the news is bad, and that's why it's a difficult decision, and that's why you need to have education, conviction, and be part of a community, because that's the only way you can get it done. So, one entity, while Bitcoin has crashed now 15%, one single entity has been buying up $3 billion worth of Bitcoin, and they've become one of the largest holders of Bitcoin. High likelihood it's Larry Fink, it's Blackrock. They're preparing for their ETF. Don't let this go unnoticed. If you're part of the hive mind of Bitcoin, you'll know that nothing goes unnoticed, and that's why it's good to be in a community, and that's why you should subscribe to this channel and any other channel that brings you good information, because you're never going to read about this in a newspaper. Okay, you'll read about this in a newspaper when it's happened, when it's priced in, and that means you've missed the opportunity. The thing is about information. One of my coaches taught me this. When you have all the information to make a decision, okay? When you have all the information in front of you to make a decision, you've missed the opportunity. Okay? Think about that. Guys, have a super day. Hit the like button. Be part of the community. Sun's out, guns out. I'm on day 4 on my fast. The week is going quick. I'm heading to the Bitcoin With Dinny office. I've got 1, 2, 3 customers to meet today, to build plans to retire early, to set up wallets, to back up the wallets, to do all the stuff we need to do, to build the portfolios, and it's an exciting day, it's a good day, it's a fun day. What about that? My job is to talk Bitcoin all day. How lucky am I? Guys, hope you have a super day too. Enjoy it. Get some sun on the skin if you can. I was out for a walk earlier and just sat out in the sun there this morning. It was nice. But let's get after it. Let's have a good day. Dinny out.